starting, so everybody take a seat. Because this is going to keep happening. No, it's okay. 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 We're going to go ahead and get started. There is space, again, near the front. There are some seats available if folks need to sit. The main thing is that we need to keep this aisle open in the middle. That would be great. Good evening, everybody. I'm from the church, so it's call and response. Good evening, everybody. My name is Key Williams. I am the interim executive director of the New Pride Agenda. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I'd like to thank the Church of the Village for graciously hosting us. The news came out about Sam Nordquist's murder on Valentine's Day, and immediately community came into action because as community we had already been in action with each other over the past several weeks. And Clark immediately was like, I'll reach out to the church, and the church graciously, of course, said, yes, we will host you for this event. So thank you for hosting us. I also want to thank the partner organizations and advocates who spread awareness about this vigil. Obviously, PFLAG NYC, the Ali Forney Center, New York Transgender Advocacy Group, Reclaim Pride Coalition, and Transformative Schools. I also would just like to say thank you to the other LGBTQ advocacy organizations that I see in this space, Callan Lord, the Center, and several other groups in this space, and folks that you will hear from tonight. And just thank all of you for showing up to remember Sam and all of the trans and gender nonconforming lives that we've lost this year. Why are we here? We are here today to memorialize Sam Nordquist, a young trans man whose life was taken just this year. His life was stolen from him and his loved ones in a horrific act of hate. And we are here not just to mourn for him, but to demand justice for him. We demand justice for Sam Nordquist. Sam's murder is a stark reminder of the culture of hate that permeates our society and causes such violence against our community. It is proof that even in a supposed safe haven state like New York, the home of Stonewall, trans and gender nonconforming lives are in jeopardy. Officials have said that Sam's murder will not be investigated as a hate crime, but investigators should not rule out such charges so quickly. Horrific acts of hate can be perpetrated by anyone, regardless of their identity or the relationship to the victim. We are also here to honor the lives of Tahari Broome, a 29-year-old Black transgender woman who was murdered in Illinois. And just last night, we were made aware of Aviana Johnson, a 25-year-old Black transgender woman from North Carolina who was found murdered. Notably, while only 13% of the transgender community is estimated or identifies as Black, Black trans women account for nearly 3/4 of known victims. Bias-motivated crimes are a real frightening problem in the US, and LGBTQ plus people continue to be targeted because of who we are. We must stand up and speak out against anti-trans violence, and that is why it is so important that you all showed up here today. And that is why we must continue to stand in solidarity with one another. You all showed up for Sam. You showed up for all the TGNC lives that we've lost thus far. And I deeply, deeply know and believe that as a resilient community, we will continue to stand up, to fight back, and demand for cause of justice for all of our community members. Together in our mourning for Sam and Tahari, we must lift each other up. And from all of us, from New Pride Agenda, from PFLAG, from everybody gathered here today, I close out with this direct affirmation. To the TGNC community and to all LGBTQ New Yorkers, you are seen, you are loved, and you matter. You are seen, you are loved, and you matter. And we will continue to fight tirelessly to uphold your rights, fight for dignity, fight for safety, and fight for our freedom. When I say trans life, you say matter. Trans lives, matter. Trans lives, matter. Trans lives. Matter.
Thank you, Key. Round of applause for Key. Good evening, everyone. My name is Clark Wolf Hamill. I'm the Executive Director of PFLAG NYC. I have more to say on grief later, but I want to start by just acknowledging that grief shows up, is felt, and is shown in a multitude of ways, and however you show up here today, there is no shame in that. So I want to first just set that tone, that whatever it looks like for you to grieve, to mourn, and to feel that, and to express that is yours. I want to express a lot of gratitude to the Church of the Village for holding this space for all of us today. PFLAG NYC and the Church of the Village have stood in partnership since the very first PFLAG meeting, which was held in 1973 here in the Church of the Village. And it's important to me whenever we collaborate and share in this space together to speak to that, because I think that, of course, there is a lot of trauma that the church has done to the LGBTQ plus community, and there is also an incredible way that faith and queerness and transness come together in a beautiful, beautiful partnership, and that this church has held that space for over 50 years, more than that, far more than that, as a space where any person can show up here and be welcome, is a testament to the ways in which being in a place of worship or a faith-based space, everybody that is in this space, whether you have any trauma or emotions related to being in a place of worship or not, that you feel welcome and held in this space, and you belong here. I want to, before we open up our program, I want to invite Pastor Jeff, who is the lead pastor of Church of the Village, to just say a word about what this church means to him and what it means to gather in this particular church today. So thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. I'm Jeff Wells. I'm one of the pastors here at the Church of the Village, and I serve along with Pastor Alexis Lilly and Jorge Lockwood, who is our Minister of Worship Arts. And we are so grateful to be able to partner with the New Pride Agenda and PFLAG and other organizations to make this vigil possible here. You know, there are many congregations and faith communities that call themselves LGBTQ plus affirming.
A lot of people.
Affirming is good, but the Church of the Village doesn't stop there. And I want to focus today on the T in the LGBTQ. We say we are transgender valuing. We are transgender cherishing. We are transgender loving. We call ourselves a chosen family, and I know that many of you can understand the significance of that, because many have suffered alienation from families or communities or churches or other faith communities. And it's really important to us that everyone feel like they're cherished and they have a home here and they belong. And so tonight we want to extend that invitation to all of you to be here, at least for tonight, to be together with us in chosen family. We have a lot of challenges, very challenging times ahead of us, right? We all know that. But when we hold one another together in love, we can make it through. We will make it through together. Yes.
Thank you, Pastor. I would like to invite our wonderful dear friend in community, Jack, who is going to be leading our opening hymn. If you have a program, and I encourage you to share, we are going to be led in Lift Every Voice and Sing, and the lyrics are on the back if you would like to sing along.
Good evening. Thanks. So, yeah, we're just going to we won't do the entire hymn. It's quite long, but we can do right up to Let Us March On Till Victory is Won. And if you know it, definitely join along. And if you find that you learn it along the way, then join in. The point is that everybody feels good and like a part of this all together. 1, 2, 3. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies.
If they know who the Father is.
Loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. If you want to do it one more time now that we have it all in our bodies. Cool, cool.
Values.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Lift every voice and sing.
Of us.
Earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let it rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. All right. My name is Reverend Eunice Coldman. I'm the co-facilitator and Northeast Regional Coordinator for Trans Saints under the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. I am also on the leadership team as a member of the Open and Affirming Coalition of the United Church of Christ. I am also associate pastor at Rivers of Living Water, UCC, New York and New Jersey. And I'm also a very proud Black transmasculine minister. Thank you. There are people who would let you, who would lead you to believe that we don't exist. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Amen. I'm trying not to preach tonight because that's not my place. However, it's sad that we have to be here under these circumstances. But don't let your faith be rattled. Hold on to it firmly. Know that there are places that are open and affirming, and there are places that are radically inclusive, just like this place. There are many places to go. Don't let them tell you that there aren't places for you to go, to exercise your faith, because we need it more than ever right now. But anyway, again, I'm trying not to preach here, okay? So our hearts are heavy with loss of our comrade, Sam Nordquist, whose sacrifice will never be forgotten. May Sam's memory be a beacon of courage for all of us, a beacon of courage to seek love. What we do for love. We stand united in our grief and in our pride and in our love and in the life of Sam. His dedication and spirit will forever inspire us, and our thoughts are with his family during this heartbreaking time. What we do for love. Sam wanted to love and be loved. Sam wanted to love and wanted love as an action, love as a verb, love as a process, love as transformative, a transformative force that heals and nurtures and empowers. That's what love does. Sam sought a love ethos grounded in caring and trust and respect. Sam believed in choosing love, yet Sam was met with a harsh reality. The harsh reality of our current political and religious climate. A climate that too often denies love and dignity to those like Sam, like me, like many of us, like many of you, who are simply seeking love that affirms life, love that affirms hope, love that affirms who we are. And who are we? We're trans. That's simple. Isn't it simple? Love that affirms that we are trans. There is such a thing. Believe it or not. Not only is there such a thing as trans, there's such a thing as love for trans. Love of trans. Love by trans. Love for trans. Love for trans of one another. Love. Love. We deserve it. Oh, I'm trying not to preach here tonight. We deserve it. In his humanness, in our humanness, we deserve to take that journey, the journey of love. A journey given to us from creation by our Creator. Whatever you believe, whatever God of your understanding there is, we were created for love and by love. God was in love with us. God is in love with us. God loves our transness. How dare anyone tell us that we don't deserve it? Don't believe it, it's not so. What we do for love. Let us honor Sam by continuing to put love into action. Let us honor Sam by experiencing love as a transformative force, using it properly and compassionately to replace hate and fear, for they cannot coexist. The stuff that's going on, I know it's hard. I know we want to break up stuff. I want to break up stuff. Yeah, and I'm a pastor. We want to break stuff up. We want to go out there. We want to just do what they doing, right? Don't we? Yeah, and it's okay to feel that way. But we don't have to necessarily act on it, though. What we want to do is combat it the best we can with what? Love. But make sure that love is for yourself as well. Love yourself, then love others. Love your transness. It is unique. It is special. Love ye one another is what the sacred text says. Love yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. She gave her only begotten son. They gave their only begotten son, daughter. That whosoever believeth will not perish and have everlasting life. They don't think that's for us either, but guess what? It is. It is all for us. It's love. It is love. Let us honor Sam by continuing the journey of love. 1 Corinthians 13:4 reminds us, love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. That's what they want to be to us. Guess what? We're going to combat that. We're going to turn it around. Okay, but don't get it twisted though. You come at us the wrong way, we're going to come back. Okay? Righteous indignation is what it's called. Okay? But we still going to do it in love. May we journey to seek love that affirms our lives, that affirms our hopes, and that affirms who we are, and we are trans. So let's take a moment. This has been a rough week for us. Even if you're not trans, it's been a rough week just to know what has happened. And just last night, adding to the list. Take a moment. Let's just put one hand over your heart. Feel it beating in your chest. Now take a deep breath and exhale. Take another one and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. The breath of life we have been gifted, and it is love. Thank you.
That's all. Just take a deep, solid breath. We're gonna transition over to remarks from a dear friend and mentor of mine. Thank you, Reverend Eunice. Thank you. The people's pastor right there. That's who that is. That's the people's reverend right there. I'm gonna invite Elisa Crespo to join us to give a few remarks. And then after Elisa, we will have remarks from Pastor Alexis Lilly. But yeah, thank you all so much. How we doing? We okay? We here? We good? We good. Right? You want this?
Good evening, everyone. I want to first thank the new Pride Agenda, PFLAG NYC, and the Church of the Village for bringing us together and for allowing us to hold space here this evening. It warms my heart to see you all here tonight, to stand against anti-trans violence at a time when our community is experiencing unprecedented hate and violence. When the actions of these last few months have been meant to debilitate us, you still show up. You show up and create space for healing to ensure that our siblings' memory will live on. Sam and Tahiri, and all of our other trans siblings and non-binary siblings whose lives have been taken from us this year and prior, they deserve to experience full and wholesome lives. They deserve to grow old. Sam had a life full of dreams ahead of him, and yet those dreams will no longer become a reality because of the heinous actions of a few. Actions that cannot be disconnected from the current and social political climate that we're living in. What I would describe as a fascist takeover that we must resist in whatever way that looks like for you. Why? Because the next generation of queer and trans youth are depending on us. They're depending on us to show up, to not comply, to not put our tail between our legs. So may we continue to take care of one another, because community, at the end of the day, we're all we've got. My heart and my condolences are with Sam and Tahiri's families and their loved ones. Justice for Sam Nordquist, justice for Tahiri Broom. Thank you.
So I am Pastor Alexis. I'm one of the pastors here at Church of the Village. In the morning, we protested in the afternoon, and we danced all night. And I'm gonna kind of give us a lens on that, inspired by the fabulous drag performer Patty Gonia, who really emphasizes the last part of that phrase, the danced all night, and the implicit joy that is found in that. That's not to negate the other parts of this mantra, shall we call it. We're here essentially to do some variation on that first part, right? We are here to bury, in a sense, to memorialize, to remember, to grieve, to process something that is unprocessable, right? To hold space and create space for ourselves, for one another, for all the different iterations of community that are here. I'm going to venture to guess that all of us in this room also fall into the second category, that we protest in the afternoon. That in some way, whether it's how we spend our literal afternoons or how we spend our working lives or just the very beingness of who we are, that we do that act of resistance, which is now, yes, being called upon a little bit more, but that has always, I'm going to say, for most of us, probably all of us in this room, infused who we are. And so dancing all night and that implicit joy does not negate these things, of course. It is not my original thought to say that joy provides, to use a Patagonia metaphor, joy provides the soil that makes these things possible and continues to fuel us for this important work. So my fabulous friends and beloved community and new faces alike, I invite us to find those spaces. Some of them may be literal and physical spaces. Others may be spaces in your heart, spaces in your communities, where we can dance all night, where we can root ourselves in joy. And so it is, and so it is. Amen.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yaneri Cruz. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Programs at the New York Transgender Advocacy Group. We gather here today with heavy hearts, mourning the tragic loss of Sam, of Tahari, and now just this week, Ariana Johnson. More lives stolen too soon. The unaliving of Sam did not happen in some distant place. It happened in our backyards, New Yorkers. Right here in our communities where transgender people are supposed to thrive, we're supposed to feel safe, where we're supposed to feel protected. But the reality is we are living in an increasingly hostile political environment. One that's not just dangerous for trans people, but dangerous for all marginalized communities. The wave of anti-trans rhetoric and policy is not just some words or political theater. It has real devastating consequences. It emboldens hatred. It spreads like a disease, infecting our communities, our institutions, and emboldening bigots with hatreds in their heart. Sam and Tahiri should still be here today, but instead of safety and dignity, trans people are met with violence and indifference. We refuse to accept a world where trans lives are seen as disposable. We refuse to be silent as our community suffers. So today we mourn, but we also demand action. We demand accountability. We demand a future where our lives are not just treated as political debates, but as what they are, because our lives are precious, our lives are worthy, and deserving of protection. Hatred is a disease. And to the community here, us trans people, we are the cure for that disease. Through love, resistance, and unwavering solidarity, we will fight back, we'll protect each other, we'll honor the lives of Sam, Tahiri, and Ariana by ensuring that no more of our siblings are taken from us. Rest in power, Sam, Tahari, and Ariana. We will never forget you, and we'll keep saying your name.
I want to return to how I opened this space, saying that we all grieve differently and wanting to make space for that. I have felt a lot of shame in my life around not doing grief right. I don't often cry. Sadness can be very hard to access, and I think that that is something that might ring true for many of the trans men in this space. As someone who struggles with grief, I often wonder how other people experience it, what that feels like, how other people grow from that pain, or how that pain grows in them. But I do feel very strongly that processing grief isn't solely about life or death. Even when we experience the passing of a loved one or a community member, grief to me stems from love lost, that presence taken from us too soon. And I feel that tremendously when we lose trans siblings. And yet, contradictorily, trans love is something that can never be lost. It is too big. It radiates and it stretches and it grows stronger every single day. It is complicated to feel both that deep loss and also that ongoing sense of love, but that is grief, that is loss. It's complex and it's confusing, and that's okay to feel those multitudes. Love has been spoken about a lot, and I do keep coming back to Sam's mother, speaking to how what he wanted was to be loved in a relationship. That he had friends, was great at his job, he was a kind, generous person who loved animals and was present in his community and with his family. But that desire to be in a relationship, I interpret that as a desire for connection and ultimately to be loved, as Reverend Eunice spoke to be loved for his transness, for the truest version of himself. And this is something I think that many trans people can relate to, that deep desire to be loved as us. Not despite it, not for it, just as it. And I know there have been many moments in my life where I worried, will this happen? And I know that the people that love me have worried if I've felt their love. And while I don't know if any of the treasured souls that we are honoring in this space today had that exact fear, I want to reassure them that they were loved. You were deeply loved in life. You continue to be cherished in death. And I like to believe that their spirits feel that love, that it holds them, and that it radiates like sunlight. And that the love they shared with the world, with their families, their friends, their communities, that loss of that love is a huge piece of what is felt so immensely in our community. And so I remind myself that their love is not ever truly lost. It can't be. Their love, like all trans love, is strong and cosmic and reaching. I like to think that it showers over all of us the way that dandelion fuzz flies through the air, creating new life everywhere that it touches. And it always will, on and on, as people are born and grow and live and die and are reborn, that love will fill rooms and fill hearts, and it is what keeps us strong. I would like to hold space for a moment of silence for Sam, for Tahiri, for Arviana, for everybody in the trans community that we have lost so far this year. I want us to all take a breath and engage in that moment. Thank you. And at this time, I would like to invite anybody that has brought flowers with them. And if you are in the beautiful balcony, feel free to do this at the end, to bring your flowers, and you can place them amongst the pulpit and then return to your seat. Thank you, everyone. I hope that whether it was the act of holding nature, of placing flowers down, or of just seeing the display of immense love and care for our trans siblings tonight brought a little piece of love and comfort into your heart and into your soul. I want to invite Key up to share with us and start to close us out before our closing song, but I want one more very brief moment of silence. Thank you.
There are queer and trans kids, adults, and elders in the future. The good Lord, Audre Lorde, said, see what I did there? She left us with this beautiful piece that I will close us out with and then invite Jack back up, a litany for survival. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward at once, before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who are imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hoped to silence us. For all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive. Ashe.
I was born by the river in a little town. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Got folks telling me don't come around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. So I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. Something always knocks me right back down, right back down on my knees. It's been hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. So I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But every time something knocks me right back down, right back down, right back down on my knees. It's been hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I never know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Change gon' come. Yes, it will.
Can we just give Jack another round of applause, please?
So this will conclude this particular gathering and memorial for Sam Nordquist, for Tahari Broom, for Ariana, and for all TGNC lives that we've lost this year. thank you all again for gathering here, for being in community with one another. It is needed now more than ever. If I get one more email that says now more than ever before, but that is so real.
Please feel free to take a moment with the flowers. Feel free to take a flower that was not yours to begin with. Feel free to leave them there, whatever you would like, whatever feels right. I want to say thank you to everyone for being here, and I hope that when you leave this space, you carry the love that you felt here with you everywhere you go.